how I help traders make money. I want to just cover this topic quickly because every now and then I have people ask, or sometimes people throw things out there, and I understand why, because a lot of services, and I'm not here to battle with anybody, but services just do things differently than I do. And these people, I suppose, have a negative way of how those services do things, and then they kind of project it on me, and I want to hear something like, no, that's not how it actually works. So I want to just set up a little premise here and then go and show you how this all works in the real world of trading by using one of my live trade results here that I had. That way, because I get it, and it's actually, I would say, a very valid thought on your part, where I get it right here. I'm just talking in theory. It's kind of like reading a book. Okay, yeah, in theory, that's how it's supposed to work out. But I mean, how does this actually play out in the real world of trading? So I'll do both though. I'll spend a little time here on the blackboard, and then I'll go to and show you how this all plays out. But just to show how I help traders make money is if this is me, what my job is I go out there and find what I would call interesting areas. More specifically, price levels, right? So I'll just type right there, but that's what my job is. That's how my service works. That's what really our community works is we're going out there and trying to locate interesting areas, in those areas being price levels. And then from there, this is where you come into play. Meaning, okay, in this situation, I've alerted some interesting area to you, but then from there, it is up to you to make this final decision. Well, there's several decisions here, but as far as the decision you'll see here, the first decision is obviously, all right, do I even want to take the trade? Do I find that area interesting? Right? Because it could be valid. We're like, no, for my strategy, I don't find that very interesting. And that's fine. That doesn't mean that you're wrong. That doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It just means that there's two different viewpoints looking at something. And that's totally valid. That's just how the market works. But assuming you're like, no, that is interesting. And yeah, I would like to make that trade. Even after you make the trade, as in the sense of entering into the trade, you still got to figure out how do you want to manage it? So just from the manage point of view, you can have a couple different things. And I'm picking this area of it just because, this is what you'll actually see within the trade itself. But when it comes to manage, for example, and what you'll see the decision of is you could do some sort of management where it's a scalp. Scalp meaning a very, very quick trade. I mean, very quick. We're talking seconds. I mean, if you're holding a scalp for more than like a minute, I don't know. That seems like kind of a long trade there. Now, and really, you could disagree with that too, and I'd understand why, but that just shows how trading is also intricate. Some people even have different definitions of a scalp. For me, a scalp should literally be seconds upon seconds. However, maybe you're saying, you know what? And I'm just gonna, I don't know what this actually is called. I don't know if there is a term for it, but I'm just gonna call it WFM. Work for me. No, let's see if this trade can work for me. Let's see if it can go more in my favor, which gives a high risk of maybe just being wrong because it goes against you, but it does give you a chance at maybe bigger gains. Whereas a scalp is a very low risk that it goes against you because you're looking to get in and out so fast. But on the flip side, it's going to limit how much money you could actually make. Again, both are valid, both have their places. But the point here being in the example you're going to see is I find an interesting price, and assuming other members, so that's where I help. I help finding the area. But then it's up to the members to figure out, well, how do they want to manage a trade after getting in? So let's go to my desktop here, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean with this. All right, I want to get this updated here, but if 65.60 fails, I think 65.50 also flushes 1 minute. So that's what I'm looking for right now on PLUG to see if 65.65 breaks, and if that occurs, then I'm just going to hop right in. Because if, like I just typed there, if 65.65 does not hold up, then I think that 65.50 will also break. So watching that very closely here. And 65.65 in there. See if we can get that break of 65.50. There it is. Gonna hop out there for another quick scalp. Puts me at, let's see, 441 on that trade. Let's see what else I can find. Well, we have a good example here about how the chat room works. You can see here that this thing is about to drop below 65, and there it goes. And again, I'll just bring over here as a reference point. But I talked about if 65.65 fails, and I think 65.50 will also break. And I chose a strategy as a scalp. I just took the quick scalp in and out. But members that said, no, I don't want to do a scalp. I like that for more of a bigger type trade. Guess what? They played it right. I played it wrong. We both made money, but they just made more money. But that's why you want a chat room that isn't going to sit there and treat you like a puppet. Like, this is how you have to trade it. No, I gave a couple of price levels, but then you can see after there, it was totally up to everybody to play however they see fit. And I got that one. We all got it right from an entry point perspective. I got it wrong from a trade management perspective. In hindsight, yeah, I should not have scalped. I should have let it work for me more. That would have been the right decision. But also, there is members here that are probably still in it and doing very well. And look at this thing as it continues to drop further and further downwards. And, that's just the nature of how, the chat room that I offer works. And not necessarily do you have to join my chat room, but if you're looking for a chat room that's literally going to tell you, and their promise is, hey, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to think for yourself. That's not what you want. That's not how trading works. You want a room that just gives you areas, and then you still have to make decisions from that area. Well, I don't want to have to make decisions. I don't know what to do. I'm doing. Well, then stay away from trading because you're going to lose your money eventually. This is a business where you have to be able to think for yourself. I get it. It's easy to sit there and promise, hey, you know what? You don't have to think for yourself. Sign up for my alerts and I'll tell you what to do. That's such an easy sales pitch, but that's just not how the markets actually work. You need to be able to think for yourself. And I'm stalling here a little bit because I want to see just how bad it actually got for me in terms of choosing the wrong method there. So totally right, 65.65, that was definitely kind of the magical level right there. But I was wrong with my trade management style with deciding to just scalp right out. But for those of you members that took that, well done. Whoops, but that is the beauty of the community. That is the beauty of why I think things need to be set up. I'm well aware that me sitting here saying, hey, you know what, sign up for my service. You don't have to think for yourself. I'll tell you what to do all the time. I know that sounds good, but if only trading were that easy. You need to be able to think for yourself. Now, yeah, a community should be able to help each other out as I've mapped out here. However, if you expect somebody to just hold your hand every single step of the way, the markets move too fast for that. It's just not going to work out like that. Once again, from the business perspective, from the marketing and sales perspective, boy, that is an easy sales pitch to make. You don't have to think for yourself. I'll think for you. Sign up for my service. A little more difficult where I can help in that way, but you know what? You still need to think for yourself. Sign up for my service. But that's why I think my community is so rock solid, is because people aren't scared off by that. People want to be able to think for themselves. And when you get a bunch of people together that want to be able to think for themselves, that creates a very, kind of iron sharpens iron type environment. But as you saw there, I chose wrong, right? I chose to scalp. So yes, I did make money on it. I did make, a pretty crazy amount of money. I think it was like 75 bucks in, I don't know, what was it, 5-10 seconds, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. But those members that said, you know what, no, I want to let it. Clay, I find that area interesting. I want to get in, but I think this thing can really make a better move than a scalp. I want to let it work for me. They chose very, very poorly, or not, I chose poorly. They chose wisely. So that is how I help. That is how my community that I offer helps each other out. So if you're curious, if you're interested, and you want to kind of see how it actually plays out, you now have an example of that. Now, if you have any other questions or anything like that, then by all means, please leave those down below. I'd be happy to answer any questions like that in terms of how the community works in other ways. But that's just an example of how it can help out, help you make some money. And I also get help from others, right? I don't always just trade. Other members will alert interesting areas for me to check out, and then I have to think for myself from that point forward. But it is definitely a give and take, and that's what, in my opinion, a true trading community should be all about. So if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Comments, questions, like I said, leave those down below. Then check out the channel as a whole. If you like that little live trade video section of this video, there's an entire playlist of just only live trade videos, so you can check those out. And hopefully you like what you see enough to hit that red subscribe button, as I would love to have you as a subscriber to the channel. But yeah, if you're interested in getting some help to make money as a trader in this sort of format, then please consider the community. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.